Crazy to think that we used to buy eggs to throw at houses. Now we can't afford eggs or houses.
But I just got out of the grocery store, and something's got to be done. Something's got to give. I mean, the price of food in this country is fucking crippling people.
A pound of ground beef, the cheapest beef available, is now more than the federal minimum wage.
So I don't know if y'all have been following, but me, going to the grocery store is like a luxury now. It's so expensive, it's like right up there with some type of expensive commodity because it just keeps going up and there doesn't seem to be any end in sight. Everybody's complaining about it. It's hitting everybody's pockets. I want to know what y'all think. Comments down below. We've reached a point where ground beef is more expensive than the federal hourly minimum wage. What's gonna happen in the future? Let's go. Let's check these videos out.
Typically try to be a happy-go-lucky, positive person, but I just got out of the grocery store, and something's got to be done. Something's got to give. I mean, the price of food in this country is fucking crippling people. Crippling and destroying the middle class. And it's all by design. Doesn't matter. Biden, Trump, Republicans, and Democrats, they're all the same. They don't give a shit about you. They want this. It's all by design. Something needs to be done. We need to vote all these fuckers out. All of them. Absolutely insane. We need to get power back to the people. I don't know what the fix is here, but the price of food in this country and just standard of living is out of control. Out of control.
This is in $3 to $4. This is $9.29 for a case of sodas. Look at this, for a case of root beer, it's $11.49. A carton of eggs is $11.39. Come on with these prices, bro. For a bag of barbecue Lay's, $4.99. It's $5 for a bag of chips. It used to be $2. This is insane. This is $10 for a case of Gatorade. And they had the nerve to put buy two, get one free. You're paying $20 for 2 cases of Gatorade, man. That's insane. These used to be $4. And they're doing buy two, get one free, making people think that they're getting a deal. It's crazy, man. What happened to our country in just 4 years? What happened? Just 4 years ago, all of these were $1. Now we're at $3.59.
I want to know what you think. How do we fix this? It's just going to keep going up. They printed way too much money. They shut the country down. They had no plan. And here we are. We've got these crazy inflated prices, but Walmart is not going to just lower their prices. Publix is not going to just lower their prices unless you have an oversupply of something. What they're trying to sell and nobody wants it, price goes down. Supply and demand. This is going to be very interesting because the tariffs are affecting everything as far as coffee prices, meat prices, soy prices, selling our crops overseas. I talked about that yesterday. There's so many things right now that the logistics is very hard. Let's keep going.
Like, if you want to look at these.
And look how much it is. This is sick.
That's 3/4 full of air. Remember the cereal I showed you the other day? That was half air. Same size box, half air. Shrinkflation in action. And that's what they're training us on. Is, yeah, same size box, close to the same price, not as much in the box. That should be illegal. Justice Department, all that needs to start investigating this stuff because that's a bait and switch.
Crazy to think that we used to buy eggs to throw at houses. Now we can't afford eggs or houses.
I was thinking about that when the toilet paper thing happened. Remember when everybody used to roll everybody's house? And then we had the toilet paper shortage. And then you think back about rolling everybody's house with toilet paper. You never think about doing that now. Do people still do that?
A pound of ground beef, the cheapest beef available, is now more than the federal minimum wage. A pound of ground beef at my local King Soopers is $7.49 because it's not on sale. The minimum federal wage is $7.20 something cents. Chuck roast, which has always been the cheapest roast available, is now $9.99 a pound. And it's not like you can just buy a pound of it. It's a roast. And that makes chuck roast, on average, about $28. You know, one of the reasons that I shop at places like Costco is because I can afford a membership and I buy in bulk because that lowers your cost per pound. But of course, poor people are penalized because they can't afford to buy in bulk. It is the penalty you pay for being poor.
I did an entire video on how much it costs to be poor. Mind-blowing. Between bank fees from bouncing your card, to junk fees, to not being able to buy in bulk, to not having cash to buy in bulk, to not being able to get from point A to point B to get that job, and then how our entire system is laid out that the poor person has a very hard time. It is mind-blowing that if you don't think about it, you're like, wait a minute, it's really hard to claw out of this. So many people are set up to fail, and now the cost of food is setting people up to fail, and they're buying it on credit cards.
You know, you go to the dollar store and you buy in small amounts, and you get less. I made a video recently, and I talked about inflation. And someone was talking about how, you know, if you look at inflation month over month, it's not any higher than it has been. You know, but that is, of course, you know, the aggregate of inflation. But if you look at the cost of food, it's crazy. You look at the cost of medication, you know, and now we're going to have tariffs on medication. Now, someone said in a video that where they live, formula was $70. I looked, and again, I live outside of Denver, Colorado, and at the Target, formula was $60. And it was specialty formula, but some children need that.
This one hits really hard because when little Jack was born, he had to have formula. And it was during the you-know-what 19. And you couldn't find that formula in the same brand, and you couldn't switch brands all of a sudden because that would make him sick. There was a shortage. Made me so angry that politicians weren't thinking ahead, that when you have these situations that we don't have some course of action to get babies formula. Because you're not able to breastfeed, which a lot of women are not able to. Comments on when I was making videos and were just mind-boggling, that people didn't understand. Some people can't breastfeed. And then your child needs it to survive, but yet you can't find it anywhere. We would drive all the way to Mobile, 50, 60 miles to get one can that was rationed. And not to mention how expensive it is. It is just like, what is our country thinking that a baby would have to struggle in this world to survive with the right formula? What are your thoughts? Comment down below.
And not everyone can join Costco because there's a cost to membership. How are people going to live? Oh yeah, we're making America great again. Take care. Stay safe, build your community.
This ain't it. I'm just leaving Kroger, and there's absolutely no reason why groceries for two people should be $300. $300 for groceries. That's not even gonna last us probably the whole month. It's gotta be a better way.
Not to mention groceries for $3 to eat healthy. Okay, yeah, you can go and buy all this preservative cheap food and you're going to be sick. You're going to be a diabetic and you're going to be overweight. To buy good food is super expensive. I went to the seafood market and bought some scallops the other day and some shrimp. And, you know, the normal scallops and shrimp. I spent $75 for two people. I mean, it was lean, clean. We cooked some rice with it. Great. $75, yeah, factor in the rice, we were $80 for 2 people to eat healthy. If you did it with lean chicken or whatever, with good vegetables and fruit, I mean, fruit is super expensive. Like, I saw a tomato the other day, $1 for a tomato, 75 cents for a jalapeno. That is insane. I mean, the comment section is just all over the place with this stuff. It's like, stop buying everything and the prices will go down. Live on ramen noodles. I mean, like, what kind of answer is that? You can't stop buying. We got to eat. What would that do to the logistics line all the way back? If you just stop eating pork, the pig farmer goes out of business. If you just stop eating steak, the feed supplier goes out of business. Like, it affects all the way down. This is not like us versus the man, because it's really us versus us. The question is, Congress. Have you ever, go watch that farm video I made where the congressmen were there trying to listen to everybody and they're going to do all these things. But what they did is they inflated our dollar so bad, funding all these bailouts, these wars. There's always money for war, for none, but none for the poor. But yet they don't want to fix the food problem. The way they solve everything is with a tax credit, a tax deduction. But when people are in a real hurt and they can't feed their family, these politicians are nowhere to be found. Look, I paid $6 at a gas station for a gallon of milk. It's always going to be more expensive at the gas station, but I get her point. And people are even talking about the serving sizes are going down. 100%, totally feel you on that. It is astronomical. And then you get stuff like this. They want to point at the rich people. Well, a lot of these jobs are created by the rich people. So what do? Tax them to death to figure out what the problem with food? The main problem I can tell with food is logistics, supply, and all these tariffs. The supply chain is in a complete whipsaw trying to figure out whether you like tariffs or not. You can't do them all of a sudden. And you've got a business plan that's 6 months, a year out, year and a half out, 2 years out for a lot of this stuff, because a crop takes a long time to grow. And you've got a lot of slinky effect in there. And when you jerk the market, you get these problems. Coffee doubles. You know, when you get a crop failure, a logistical problem, and it's 6 months out, a year out, and then you get an administration change and a couple executive orders, and then some bureaucracy to sprinkle on top of that, you get some real problems. And you gotta, I don't know how you do this all at one time. I've yet to figure this out. Comments down below. You agree, disagree? I want to hear from you.
I just got home from the food store and I didn't have time to process how much money I spent. So let's break it down. I went to Target and I spent $137. Then I went to ShopRite and spent $551, totaling $688. We are a family of 3, me, my husband, and my almost 2-year-old. All the things that I got, most of it was like, household products, face wash, things like that. Things that were like buy 3 for whatever, like cheaper, blah, blah, blah. I also got other stuff too, fruits, vegetables, meat, bread, eggs, cheese, like stuff like that. Things that like we go through every single day. I come home, I show my husband everything I bought. He's like, whoa, this is very overwhelming. How much money did you spend? I tell him, and he was like, needless to say, he left, went for a bike ride so he can, just take his mind off how much money that I just spent at the food store.
What I'm seeing across the board with these videos is that people are going to multiple places to try to just tamper down the expense of everything. And you're also got to factor in time, gas, and everything it takes to go all these different places to save $10, $15, $100, $200. And that is very time consuming. And for most people, they're not able to do that. I mean, you wind up driving 50 miles all over town to save, $100 or $50. And you got to add that into the cost of everything. Luckily, gas is down and it's not high, or we'd really be in a hurt.
Grocery haul as a 37-year-old full-time working mom of 3 boys who also moved her parents in with her. So we have groceries today from 3 different places. We got groceries from Sam's, Walmart, 4 places. Sam's, Walmart, Food Line, and Piggly Wiggly. And I will tell you the totals for each at the end and then a grand total. So we got 2 containers of the 2-bite brownies. 2 of those because they'll be gone so quick. We got 1 big thing of Cinnamon Toast Crunch because we still had some left over from last trip. So we didn't need as much this time. We got a big box of the oatmeal cream pies. We got some tea. We got some cereal bars. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big bags of fries. I got some conditioner, Q-tips, children's Tylenol, some cucumbers, some lettuce. Here's that good old Lewis bread from the Piggly Wiggly. Some bananas. We got 6 blocks of the Monterey Jack cheese. We got a watermelon. We got 2 big things of mayonnaise because we be going through some mayonnaise. We got some grapes. We got some eggs. A few things of the allergy medicine. Some deodorant for my dad. Some antacid for my mom. Lip gloss that my mom got. 2 blocks of the mozzarella cheese. 6 blocks of the mild cheddar cheese. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Dr. Peppers. We got these subs for Bryson. He absolutely loves the Italian Hero subs at Walmart. We got 4 of these for him, so this should last him for quite a few days here. We got 1 Mountain Dew because we still have a few of those left, and Brantley is literally the only one that drinks them. We got a box of Fruit Loops. We got 1 bag of the purple Doritos. We got a thing of buttermilk, a big bag of sugar. We got 2 gallons of milk. We got a thing of naps. We got the Fruit Loops with marshmallows. We got some Oreos. We got 2 packs of Capri Suns. We got 4 New York strips. And Bryson's already broke into his suds. I told y'all he left them. We got 2 packs of ribeyes here. We got a thing of drumsticks here. We got 2 packs of pork chops. 32 pizzas.
32 pizzas.
We got tower pizzas again for Brayden. I will cry. So we wiped them out. We took all they had. And then we got 10 packs of strawberry Kool-Aid. And we got 3 cases of water, but I am not picking those up for y'all. So yeah, that was included in this. Oh, excuse me. We got 4 cases of water. And then we also ordered an 8-count box of deluxe mac and cheese online at Sam's and an 8-count box of Velveeta mac and cheese at Sam's. That's not here yet. It's gonna be shipped here. Okay. All right, so I got all of our totals written down. So online at Sam's was $31.26. In store at Sam's was $81.56. Food Lion was $55.23. Walmart. So Walmart, we had 1 total. We did 2 separate orders at Walmart. One was $188.96 and one was $24.15. And then Piggly Wiggly was $95.52. And my mom has a total for me. So all of that together is $476.68 today. So a little bit less than last time. But the crazy thing is that we left a lot of stuff.
$400 and some odd dollars to feed their family. What I've been finding very interesting is there's a trend to vlog everybody's food haul. And you can see what everybody's eating. You can see how the diet in America works. I find it very interesting. What do you think? Comment down below. What do you think about what they got? How much it cost? How they could improve? Let me hear your thoughts. Very interesting.
Listen to this TikTok. Things are about to get really hard for us. I don't think we have any idea about how things are about to be. The reason why I can see this, why I know this, why I see it coming into fruition very quickly is because I have an extreme sense of pattern recognition. The one ongoing theme I see through all the social media platforms right now is someone is asking for help with their housing situation. They're about like 2 seconds or like a quarter away from an eviction or being homeless. And you know, it's like one of those things where you just like rather let people do what they want to do because you don't know if they might be YOLOing or whatever, but you want to kind of get the word out too at the same time because it is quite a serious situation. If you have the ability to stock up, you should. If you have the ability to scale back on any of your expenses, you definitely should. If you just racked up on any debt this year, like a new car or a new house, I would be very cautious about the way that I'm moving. With that, I would probably be trying to get extra streams of income because you do not know if your stream of income that you currently have will still be there in the next 6 months to a year. If you were considering getting a house this year, maybe you might want to consider teaming up with someone. Single mothers, you probably maybe need to consider teaming up. If you have friends or best friends, maybe you might want to consider living with each other. You know, maybe you might want to help each other with each other's kids. Now it's going to be a time of community, because I'm telling you, we are getting priced out of the market every single day, as far as being able to afford homes, to be able to have a decent car note, just to even be able to live. My God. If you're trying to get out of the country, now is a good time to go ahead and do that. You know, it's starting to cool down. You know, do not be afraid to move your kids out of the country. Do not be afraid to leave the United States of America. I promise you, I've done it several times. I've lived in Mexico for 30 days. I've lived in Medellin. I've lived in Colombia, been to Cartagena, all of those things. I've lived in those places. And when I tell you, other countries are so much better than the United States. Do not be afraid to leave. And if you need to leave, don't be afraid to get a loan, to get up out of here to do it, because guess what? Credit does not exist in a lot of other countries, or it really doesn't matter. It really just only matters about your cash flow and what you have on hand. And most times you can go ahead and get into an Airbnb. The only thing I can see that most people are messing up with when they leave out of the country is that they are not keeping up with like the visa rules over there. A lot of countries will allow you to be there for a year. Do your research. Spain, Albania, you know, things like that. Do your research, find out about the visa rules, and get up out of here. If you're going to stay and hunker it down, if you're going to stay, maybe you want to consider scaling back. Maybe you want to sell your home. Maybe you want to be in an RV like me. But whatever you do, please be sound mind and know, you know, like make good decisions financially right now. Don't be out here YOLOing, because your YOLO might have you in a tent on a corner somewhere with nowhere to live, for real. And I've said it in other videos, and I'll say it again. Just make sure you go get you some pew-pew, okay? Because when it comes down to survival of the fittest and people need to provide for their families and they don't feel like going out there and getting their own, please believe they have no problem coming to take anything from you, okay? Y'all be easy out here. Stay safe. And please get it together. Listen, do not scroll anymore. Listen to this.
I tell you, the consumer is ready to break. Like, they can't afford things anymore. When you look at the cost of housing is over 40, 50, 60% of people's total income just to put a roof over their head. Factor in utilities that have gone up 30% over the last few years. You got food prices that are staggering. This is just the baseline to survive. I don't know what the future is, and I feel like maybe the future is people just say, I'm not doing it. And they go do like they did in the 60s and just kind of vagabond or live in a van or an RV and then just go across the country and say, I'm not participating. We had a group of friends that to this day I thought was so interesting. When 2008 happened, they just said, you know what? Take the house. They got them a school bus. They renovated it into a home. And they just go from place to place all over the United States. And if you made them mad, they'll be 2 states over by morning. And they put their little Harley and their Volkswagen on the back of the Greyhound bus, or it was an old Bluebird bus. They had a great life. Worked where they wanted to, worked when they can, when they needed something, and they kept moving. And I read about these old surfers back in the day that would just go from place to place, living on the road. Do people start doing that again because it's too expensive to own a house? But here's the problem with that. Those that have assets, when they keep inflating the dollar, will be the only ones that are part of the wealth gap. The ones with assets will keep pulling away from the ones that don't. And it is a catch-22 to say, you know what, I'm not going to participate in all that anymore. But then the haves and have-nots get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And we saw that during the last 5 years. Those that own houses, stocks, those doubled in value. They became way wealthier, and the ones that didn't, now they can't afford housing. This is the way our economy is structured, and it is wild. What do you think?
So I could cry. It was my very first time getting declined at Aldi, and there was, of course, a long line, and everyone knew that, oh, she doesn't have enough money for her groceries. Nicholas has a lot to say, apparently. So, anyway, I left the house knowing I had over $200. Between the time of going and shopping and swiping my card, I did not have $200, and my $190 order was declined. So, I went into my bank account, and of course a bill came out that I wasn't aware of, and it was $50. So I had to put like $40 worth of groceries back, which was really embarrassing. And I wish like just someone was behind me just to help the embarrassment to like help the rest of my bill. It's never happened to me before, but it was terrible. I had like $169 in my account. I had to take out like 10 random things, you know, because I'm so embarrassed. Just please take whatever out that's going to get me down the fastest. So we get paid on Wednesday, which is fine, but it's just the fact that, wow, this has never happened before, and I don't want this to happen again.
Guys, y'all ain't gonna believe this freaking crap. Me and my husband just left the grocery store, walked there with not even 4 bags, and paid over almost $300 and something. Everything has just went up double. Like, what the heck, man? This is getting crazy. We can't even afford groceries anymore. My husband brings home not even $500 a week. And we can't afford this freaking crap. And we went to fill out for freaking food stamps to get help. They denied us. They said he made too much. Off of not even $500 a week. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. We can't even get help. But that's not the point. My husband, he works. And I can't work. This is getting out of control.
I just spent $345 at Aldi, and I didn't buy like a piece of furniture. I just bought food. I didn't think that was even possible to do, honestly.
This kind of stuff just breaks my heart. Here we are, America, richest country, and yet people got to put back groceries. And to hear the child in the background, that's what just breaks my heart. You know, it's like I wish I could just like Venmo her the money, because I understand that feeling. I grew up poor, and knowing that money was tight and that checks bounce and the lights going out. I remember when I was a kid that all of a sudden the lights would go out and, you know, the power got turned off, or you knew that, you know, there's no gas in the car. And to think, what if you ran into a medical emergency? Man, that stuff just brings back memories that, what are we doing? Always money for war, but none for the poor. I just keep saying that because it's so true. Politicians don't care. They will water your money down that you saved over the course of your life, and they'll dilute it 20% like they did in the past. And when they print 20% of all the money ever created in the United States inside 4 or 5 years, it's a statistic. This is what happens.
We've all been feeling prices going up everywhere. It's been hitting every single one of us. And I think it's called soft economic indicators that we're going into a recession. It's the stuff that's not obvious, clear as day. And one of them was how many families are relinquishing their family pets because they can't afford them anymore. That is skyrocketing. That shelters who are already overburdened are now beyond capacity. People can't afford their pets anymore in this economy. The dog food has skyrocketed by another $20 or so a bag. And most American families can't afford that huge jump. I know my daughter works at a vet clinic, and a lot of people are skipping on medical care and what have you. Soft economic indicator, I think it is. It's a real...
And I know some of y'all are like, what's that? I wasn't even alive back then. Don't worry, I got you. A Depression-era pantry is about survival with style. It's budget-friendly, non-perishable items that will ensure you never go hungry. Flour, cornmeal, rice, dried bean, oats, pasta, molasses, cocoa, peanut butter, canned fruits and vegetables, canned meat, lard, vinegar, salt, sugar, and spices. You know, this is all the stuff your grandmama could take and make 20 meals out of it and continue to feed the family over and over again. See, most Americans, y'all got really addicted to living high on the hog. Like little mini Rockefellers, right? Eating fresh salmon on a Wednesday night, sipping cold brew like water. Let's keep it all the way a buck. See, you were never rich. You just had enough credit cards and cheap prices so you could pretend. And now, that runway is gone. So here's the irony for me. The same folks, right, that used to laugh at grandma's struggle meals are about to be Googling how to make biscuits from bacon grease and molasses. And honestly, it's not even shameful, for real, it's smart. Because the truth is, prices are not done climbing yet. We have not hit the peak. So either you build yourself a Depression-era pantry right now, or you're going to be out here paying $15 for a bag of rice like it's a luxury handbag. Because at the end of the day, y'all, survival is not about flexing. It's about preparing. And the most American thing you can do right now, learn how to make it work no matter what. That was just like they did back then.
She's right on this. She's got a lot of right on her channel and some of the things she talks about. Don't agree with her on everything, but the old school way of cooking, I remember my grandma talking about being raised in the Depression, how to cook a possum or raccoon, how to make lard, how to do all these things. We're going to have to go back to that. How do we have a cabinet for the future that can cook cheaply? That's all I got, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below. I want to hear your thoughts. This is a very interesting topic, and I'm going to keep making videos about it because the cost of living is so important, and we got to hold people accountable. See you guys in the next video.